Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome into Great Awakener Ether Realm. My name is Kimberly, and I'm going to be doing a weekly report for the week of January 20th through the 26th. All right. So to start off, this weekend we had the sun move into Aquarius. Um, that is your home zone, so you're going to be focusing a lot on your home and family for the next month, where consequently we actually had your ruling planet Pluto move in permanently in November. I will be going over that just a little bit later. Okay. We also had a conjunction between Venus and Saturn in Pisces. Um, so Venus rules Taurus as well as Libra. Taurus is your seventh house of partnerships, and Pisces is your fifth house of children, romance, creativity. Um, it's where it's conjuncting Saturn, and Saturn rules Capricorn, which is your third house of communication, community, short distance travel. Okay. We have a lot of emphasis on Pisces still. And with that conjunction coming in, it does, you've had Saturn in Pisces for, let's see, when did that go in there? March 7th, 2023. Okay. So you've probably been coming up with having a lot of discipline in your fifth house sector. Again, it rules children, romance, and creativity. Okay, so with Venus coming in and it ruling your partnership sector, Venus is a benefactor. It softens anything that it touches. So you may have been feeling this last year and a half with Saturn being in there, not having a lot of maybe some turmoil, discipline this last year and a half in your romance sector, along with your children. Okay, with Venus coming in there and also Neptune being in there for the last 13 years, this does soften Saturn quite a bit. So this happened last Saturday, Sunday, okay, on the, let's see, the 19th, 20th, excuse me, 18th, 19th. So hopefully things have things have softened for you just this past weekend, okay? I do want to point out that having all of this whole stellium here in Pisces, if you're looking to have children, this is a great time for you to have children. If you are not looking to have children, you're going to want to protect yourself, okay? Which also, when the sun moves into Pisces here next month, you're going to have the sun in there as well. So for the next 2 months, if you're not looking to have children, to create children, because that is what this sector is creating. If you're not looking to create any more children, you're going to want to protect yourself, okay? And if you're wanting children, like, this is the best time for you, all right? So we are going to start off with the moon in Libra here. Libra is your 12th house of subconscious, dreams. You may be having a lot of dreams during this time. This starts off on Monday, the 20th, okay? You may be having a lot of dreams. This is your subconscious sector, okay? Anything that is hidden, you'll probably be wanting to take some time out. 12th house is your very private house, where it consequently squares Mercury in Capricorn, which is your third house. Now, Mercury is the natural ruler of the third house. It rules Gemini. So you have a lot of communication going on there, short distance travel, anything that has to do with your community. Okay. Now we had a full moon last Monday. Let's see, on the 13th, where now the moon has come around to square this axis at 23 degrees. this can cause a little bit of turmoil for you because it's also squaring your co-ruling planet Mars, which is also in retrograde in Cancer. Cancer is your ninth house. Ninth house is a friendly house. It's your uh, uh, long distance travel, higher learning, such like stuff like that. But it did start retrograding in Leo back on December 6th at 6 degrees. It started coming in here backwards. With it being your ruling planet and it being in retrograde, it might be causing some confusion, some frustration. Mars is a very outward, intense planet, full of passion, and when it goes retrograde, it can really throw a wet blanket on that. And also, it being in Cancer, Cancer isn't the best house for Mars to do its work. It's a water house, even though it does rule Scorpio, which is water. It's very passionate and intense. And with it being retrograde until February 23rd, you might be experiencing some, you might want to be kind of a hermit, doing a lot of introspection, especially with the moon here in Libra. And of course, it's coming around and squaring this axis that full moon was on. Okay? It also makes an opposition to Chiron in Aries, which is your work sector. So you have your community sector and your work sector, which are kind of, more your open houses that involve people, other people, okay? And then you have it coming and squaring, your 12th house, which is where all of your hidden secrets are, right? And your dreams and your subconscious. So Monday might be kind of intense for you. You might want to stay home, right? But moving on, when we're going into the home sector here with the sun illuminating your planet in your home sector of Aquarius, you're probably going to want to be kind of settling down in your home anyway, right? So on Tuesday, then the moon does come into your sign, which is usually great. It's usually kind of a reset for the month and kind of invigorates you, right? But it makes an immediate square to the sun and Pluto in your home zone. Like I said, this next month you're probably going to be focusing a lot on your home and your family. The fourth house also does represent your mother. So might be if your mother is still around, you might be communicating with your mother. It's a very private house. Your 4th, 8th, and 12th house are very private. Okay, so that for you is Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. All right. So this happens on Tuesday, the 21st. It's the only thing that happens on Tuesday, so hopefully you can just kind of focus on that energy and just kind of let it slide. Okay, but squares can be intense, but the moon is fleeting, so it should only last no longer than that day. Okay. Then we have the 22nd. The moon comes and trines Saturn here. Now, by this time, Venus has moved on. Throughout the week, Venus goes from 16 degrees to 22 degrees, until next Sunday. And then we have Mercury will be going from 19 degrees to 27 degrees throughout the week as well. Okay. Other than the moon, Mercury is the fastest moving planet. Okay. So, even though we have this square right here, we then have all these trines coming in to Saturn, Venus, and Neptune, and the North Node. Pisces is a very good house for you. It's the 5th house. The 5th house I call the fun zone. It's where you create. Okay, you create your children. You create anything that makes you happy is the best way to say that. Anything that makes you happy kind of usually falls into your 5th house. Okay, so you have this immediate square, but then you have these trines come in. And trines are the friendliest aspect that you can get. So though you might have intensity here on Tuesday, you know, mostly Tuesday night, depending on where you are in the world, okay? Going into Wednesday, all of that harshness is going to dissipate, all right? And then you have the moon come in and sextile Mercury here in Capricorn. You might be doing some short distance travel to, I don't know, see a child, maybe for romance. You might be communicating in those categories as well, all right? And then after that, you're also going to have an opposition to Uranus in your 7th house of Taurus, your 7th house. Partnerships, whether romantic or business, and your enemies, okay? That's going to hit this axis of 23 degrees again. Uranus is a decently slow planet. And it's also in retrograde at the moment. It does come out January 30th and start moving forward. So it's kind of at a standstill at the moment at that 23 degrees. But even though this is an opposition, and Uranus has been in your partnership sectors for about 6 to 7 years now, okay? So you might be kind of used to the energy. You might have had some shakeups in your partnerships, okay? A lot of awakening going on here. Uranus is the natural ruler of Aquarius. So you're talking about your home sector and your partnership sector, okay, that are going to be highlighted, and your 5th house of romance, children, creativity. And then it comes in to make a sextile to your communication, 3rd house, and your 9th house. Of course, this is your ruling planet, Mars. Our ruling planets hit us a little bit harder. It's almost, I personally think that they're as powerful as the sun. So even though you have these oppositions, okay, you also have a lot of trines and sextiles going on here, okay? So this week is going to be, you know, kind of up and down. Like there might be some that triggers you, that, you know, get you kind of, gets the anxiety going, and then all of a sudden everything will soften, okay? So, yeah. Okay, so all of it, so it starts off on Wednesday. The only thing that's really happening is the trine to Saturn at 16 degrees. And then we go into Thursday, and it makes these other trines and sextiles, okay? And then we also have, of course, Mars sextile Uranus as well. And we have Mercury opposing Mars. And then we have Mercury trining Uranus. Trines are the best you can get. Sextiles come in close second. So, like I said, by Thursday, everything should be like real nice. Okay? That's the best way that I can describe. Okay? Let's see. Friday on the 24th, the moon moves into Sagittarius, which is your value sector, your 2nd house, and it makes an immediate sextile to this Sun-Pluto conjunction in Aquarius. Sextiles, again, are very nice. Anything that you might have had upheaval at this square here, everything's going to start to soften. Okay, I can't describe that enough. Like, if you have some upheaval, it will get better. All right. And then we have the Sun coming in and opposing Jupiter in Gemini. Gemini is your 8th house of other people's money. You rule the 8th house, okay? So that is, you know, you're the traditional ruler of the 8th house. So you're used to that energy. Other people's money, tax, debt, sex, death, transformation, and intimacy, okay? The natural ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter. Okay, so you have your values, the way you see yourself, your self-worth, and how you earn your money. Okay, with the moon opposing Jupiter in Gemini, your 8th house. Okay, so you might, excuse me. So you might have something going on here with money, with intimacy, or with your value system. Okay, the moon's fleeting. You know, it really, like I said, you kind of have that shake up, and then you have the softening of it. Jupiter, again, is also the benefactor. Venus and Jupiter are the benefactors of astrology. Anything that it touches, it really is. Jupiter is meant to expand you, you know. So Jupiter has been in Gemini since May 24th. So it may have been helping you expand this 8th zone here. Okay, other people's money, intimacy, sex, death, transformation, which is what you rule. So you're probably decently comfortable with that. Okay, Jupiter has been in retrograde and is coming out on February 4th here pretty soon. So it, you know, when retrogrades come in, it's kind of like when planet kind of goes to sleep, and all the work that it does is internal. And then when it comes back out, you know, all of that work that you've done, you can now, you know, put out into the world. Okay. Now, when you do retrogrades, it does start out at a point where it starts going backwards and then come back. And then when it starts going forward again, you're going to retrace these steps. So it's kind of a redo. You get to think about what you're going to do, and then when it starts going forward, you're going to kind of do a redo. Okay? That's how retrogrades work. All right? Let's see. Okay, and then after that, let me look at my notes here. Sorry about that. Okay, the moon is going to come in and square all of these planets in Pisces. Again, your values, how you see yourself, your self-worth is going to square your romance, children, creativity sector. You might have a shakeup with a romantic partner. You might have a shakeup with children. Something about maybe your children need money, you know. If you are trying to get pregnant, and let's say you're seeing a doctor for it, for, you know, the in vitro, something like that, you might be talking about spending money on, you know, getting pregnant. You know, that is your creating children sector. Okay, you might find out that somebody is pregnant. You know, it can go a lot of different ways. You know, or you might be spending some money on a creative venture as well. You know, it doesn't always have to involve children, but like I said, I want to put the emphasis on if you don't want children, or if you do want children, like this is very focused on if you want to create a baby or not. Okay? All right. So the moon comes in also and squares Neptune and squares that north node. Okay. I want to kind of go into why the lunar nodes are so important. Those are where eclipses take place. Eclipses are like the most intense aspect that you can get in astrology. They are the game changers. Like everybody knows that if you've ever been able to see a true eclipse, like they're very intense. You know, in the old days, like when people didn't really know what was going on, like people thought that the world was ending. Okay. So that's exactly where it's very karmic as well. Like when an astrologer does synastry, they're going to look at where your north and south node are compared to the other person's other planets. Okay, but you're used to the karmic because you rule Pluto. Pluto is very karmic as well. You know. So, but I just wanted to explain a little more in depth why the lunar nodes are so important. Again, also, they're not an object; they're mathematical points. Okay, so depending on what type of astrology you do, the mathematical points are going to be different. Whether you do Vedic astrology or Western, I do Western astrology. Okay, just wanted to point that out there. So then it's the moon's going to square Venus. No, even with squares, Venus is just a benefactor. It's, and I'm not sure if I pointed this out last week, so I'll say it again. Venus can do its best work in Pisces. It's exalted in Pisces. Neptune is considered the higher octave of Venus. Okay, so when it's in Pisces, that's another reason why if you're looking to create a baby, now is the time. So or not. um, but Venus just softens everything. So even when you have a square with Venus, it's just real. It's still real nice. It might make you even lazy, and that goes for Neptune as well. Venus and Neptune are very ethereal planets. They especially Neptune, like it lacks boundaries. It's the unconditional love planet. Okay, so with a square coming in from the moon, which is also ethereal, has all to do with your emotions. I always call it the la-di-da aspect. Like you're just going to be kind of relaxed and like I don't care, and some euphoria might come in there, and very foggy, can be very foggy. Okay, that happens on Friday, but then the next thing that happens is pretty rare that I absolutely love for Saturday. Okay, excuse me. All of this happens on Saturday. My bad. Well, and of course, again, it depends on where you are in the world. Okay. So you're going to have to take that into consideration as well. But these aspects can last, 2 to 3 days. All right. So the aspect that I'm kind of excited about is we have a trine between Venus and Mars, your ruling planet. Trines are the best aspect that you can get. They are kind of rare between these planets because of the way that they orbit. Okay. Of course, Mars is retrograde, but it is your ruling planet, and these two are in two water signs, which are very friendly to you because you're the other water sign, right? So you have these trining your sign. Very beautiful, okay? Whether Mars is retrograde or not, it's very, water signs are very ethereal, romantic, emotional, just very, you might be having some daydreams. This might be having some awakening going on here in your ninth house. Saturday is going to be very nice for everybody. Okay, you can't go wrong with a trine between the lovers of the zodiac. Okay. All right, moving on to Sunday. We have Mercury moving into. Mercury's getting in on this, going to move into a sextile to Neptune over here at 27 degrees. Okay, and then we have Venus also sextile Uranus. Okay, so you might have some of these squares going on, but we have so many sextiles and trines going on. Like this weekend, I can't emphasize enough. This weekend should be very nice. Okay, I don't know of any other word to put it. It's going to be a very nice weekend in my opinion. Okay. And then the moon moves into Capricorn, which is also very friendly to you on Sunday. And that's where I'm going to pretty much end the report. And then next week we can take care of this next week. Okay. Even though there's going to be a few shakeups for you, possibly, especially in the home sector, maybe the money sector, I can't emphasize enough, like your fifth house and your ninth house and your third house are really on fire too. Okay, but also your home sector where you might want to, this is obviously your home sector, your home family, might want to stay home, your partnerships. You have a really good weekend coming in. Okay, I don't know how much more I can say that. So with that being said, I hope you do have a very nice week. I do offer personals if you'd like to check out my website. I do a lot of healing modalities on there if you're interested. But until then, I hope you have a very nice week, Scorpio. Bye.